Kansas City, the perennial contender, the favorite every offseason now. What did the Chiefs do this offseason?
Offseason, I mean, I do appreciate that they didn't really make a ton of huge splashes. I say that because, yes, they gave Juwan Taylor a 4-year, $80 million contract, but they chose to do that instead of keeping Orlando Brown. So it was kind of a net even move. I think it was smart to bring in Donovan Smith.
Yep.
I never really bought the idea they were going to move, Juwan Taylor over to left tackle. He was a right tackle at all his time in Florida in college, obviously all the time in Jacksonville. Look, I know, at PFF, we don't just always defer to the league. That's kind of why we exist. But you talk to anybody in personnel going into free agency, they think Juwan Taylor could be one of the best pass blocking tackles in all of football. I know it hasn't really showed up yet. He is super young. His pass block grade on true pass sets was top 10 for us last year. Overall, I think it was about top 20 just as in pass block in general. Free agency was kind of quiet. I like the addition of Charles Omenihu.
Yes.
I think you kick him inside a good bit now on pass rushing downs. I'm on an island with this draft. I love Felix Anudike-Uzomah. We did our, every PFF analyst picks one player that they're higher on the consensus. He was my choice for that. And then Wanya Morris also, I think, has the potential to develop into a starting tackle. Former 5-star recruit, goes to Oklahoma, opposite of Anton Harrison, the guy we just talked about. You watch him play, very fluid athlete. His movement is just easy. It's not like it just seems so smooth. I think he can get better with his hand usage. I think in space, he's not really looking to attack players. He's kind of just like getting to a spot and kind of just being idle. But if you teach some nastiness and aggressiveness into his game and you use his athletic tools he already has, I think he could be a really good football player.
Yeah, their draft was interesting. I like the Anudike-Uzomah move. I think that's a solid addition for them. I don't love him as much as you do, but I get like it's an important spot for them. And when you sort of factor in, again, an area of need, teams addressing it multiple times, right? So for the Chiefs, you have this edge rusher, general area of need. You bring in Charles Omenihu in free agency. Your first-round pick goes to Anudike-Uzomah, and then they come back on day 3 with B.J. Thompson, this wild, like, freakish project who needs to put on like 20, 30 pounds of muscle, even on top of what he's already put on. But has like the tools to actually make an impact, like has the pass rushing ability, has the athleticism. So you got 3 guys essentially coming in to try and address one area of weakness. I love that as an approach. My single favorite move for them is probably Rashee Rice, the second rounder wide receiver from SMU. Everybody came away with the same conclusion from his tape, which is, 1, I love it, and 2, I don't know what to do with this. Like, it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense, but everybody likes that guy. He's such a weird, unusual wide receiver, and I just love pairing that guy with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, the entire environment and ecosystem that the Chiefs currently have.
We just talked about it. He's obviously been with Andy Reid going back to Philadelphia. On offense, at least, he's like, we just add athletes and just trust that Reid will put them in a position to succeed and make it work. And again, we're not buying into every lip service, but clearly that has been the case in Andy Reid's entire career, especially in Kansas City, at pretty much every offensive position, including quarterback. So, yeah, I'm with you there. I think the one nitpick I would have, we're going least favorite move. I still think they need like a true nose tackle or just an early down run stuffing type player. The thing is that like teams don't run against them a whole lot, so I guess it's something you can neglect because teams are going to be throwing a ton against you. But with Chris Jones, obviously one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL, but a pure pass rusher, a guy that even kick outside of the edge at times. Him and Charles Omenihu are not going to stop the run, or you don't want them to stop the run. So one thing, they added Conjay Cover from Texas later on in the draft. But yeah, I think that's the one spot I would add a little bit more talent to.
Yeah, I mean, if I was picking a least favorite move, the amount of money they gave up to Juwan Taylor, I think, is a little bit questionable. When you could have, paid Orlando Brown, when you could have gone a different direction, I don't quite understand. I also don't understand the whole dynamic of why they even started messing with this idea of moving him to the left side, whether that was always a lie, just something they were putting out there for no particularly good reason, or whether it was actually a plan that they bailed on after 5 minutes. Either way, the whole thing just didn't make a ton of sense to me and didn't feel like the best allocation of resources. But overall, a B grade for Kansas City's offseason, B plus for their free agency, B minus for their draft. Shakes out to a B.